Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over an article that discussed the special election which happened in a Pennsylvania Senate seat on Tuesday and why I think it's good news for the Democrats and could potentially be a troubling sign for Republicans in the upcoming Florida special House election that is coming up on April 1st. Democrats across the country are celebrating the results of a special election in Pennsylvania on Tuesday, in which the party secured a narrow state House majority and managed to flip a traditional red state Senate seat. Dan Gogner, a Democrat, won his race in a district southwest of Pittsburgh by about 28 points. The seat was previously held by State Representative Matthew Gurgley, another Democrat, who unfortunately died in January. Gogner's win restores his party's 102 to 101 majority in the state house. Also on the ballot Tuesday, and giving National Democrats cause for celebration, was a special state Senate election to replace Republican State Senator Ryan Ament, who resigned to work for U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. And in this matchup, the district is located in northwest Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it went for President Donald Trump by 15 points in the 2024 presidential election. Democrat James Malone claimed victory by less than 500 votes. So for the Democrat to win, he would have had to make up at least 14 to 15% from what Trump did in 2024. While Malone's win does not affect control of the state Senate, Republicans will still have a 4-seat majority. It is being hailed by Democrats outside of the Keystone State as a good sign for them. We feel great, and the Republicans are scared, Democratic National Committee Chair Ken Martin told USA Today. A spokesperson for the Republican State Leadership Committee said in a statement they are not sweating the outcome. Democrats know they failed, or their federal policy agenda is toxic, and their only chance to boost enthusiasm with their voters is to throw everything they can at minor, low-information special elections that don't reflect the realities they will face in the midterms, said Mason DePalma, RSLC Communications Director. Republicans still maintain a comfortable cushion in the Pennsylvania Senate to be a check on Governor Shapiro's dangerous liberal agenda, he added, but last night's results show beating them and beating Democrats back in 25 and 26 will take significant resources. Democrats have been celebrating a handful of special election wins already in 2025, including flipping an Iowa State Senate seat in January. In Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a Democrat has not represented that district in decades. This was a mammoth upset that no one saw coming, Martin said, and Democrats were energized. So the background information on this. The special elections, especially in the last, honestly you could say in the Trump era since 2016, the Democrats have almost always done very well in these special elections and off-year elections. I can think of a few examples in Georgia and Pennsylvania. There's always been some special elections where people are retiring, and Democrats have always seemed to outperform. And this one is no different. But in this Pennsylvania Senate seat, obviously the importance of it, Pennsylvania is one of the most important swing states in the United States. It was very critical to President Trump winning in 2016 and 2024, and it was very critical for Biden winning in 2020. So it's a very important state at the presidential level. It had a very, very close Senate race this time around in 2024, where Dave McCormick barely won against the Democratic incumbent Bob Casey. So Pennsylvania, a few hundreds of votes could make the difference between winning and losing in this important state. And in this district, the Democrats are able to flip the seat by 15 points in a special election. Now, in special elections, it's important to note they're not going to have the same level of voter turnout as a major election like in the presidential race or a standard election that happens like for town elections or such. It's going to be lower turnout than those, which is why voters coming out and being motivated to vote is very important. And it seems in this matchup, the Democratic voters in the district were far more motivated to get out and vote than the Republicans were in that district, especially considering the district is Republican plus 15. That is a very, very big deal. But okay, what's the big deal on this? Democrats win a special state Senate election in Pennsylvania. Well, why does this matter? Surely this is happening just in a vacuum. Well, no, it's actually not. Because on April 1st, there is another House vacancy, but this time it's in the U.S. House. And this vacancy has to do with the House seat of Florida, former Republican Representative Mike Waltz, who is now serving in President Trump's administration. And this district should be a safe Republican district without question, as I'll show you in a little bit. But some Republicans are raising concerns ahead of a key special election in Florida on Tuesday in what appeared to be a safe U.S. House district for the party, as Republican State Senator Randy Fine vies for the chance to take the seat vacated by former Republican Mike Waltz. The special election in Florida's 6th congressional district, which is on the state's eastern coast and includes the city of Daytona Beach, is being held on Tuesday, April 1st, to fill the vacancy left by Waltz, as he's now President Trump's national security advisor. Some concerns have been raised with Fine's own party over his fundraising and campaigning, as he has lagged behind Democratic candidate Josh Whale, according to filings with the Federal Election Commission, the FEC. Fine has raised or received about $987,000 from late November 2024 through mid-March, while Weil has raised over $9 million, raised or received over $9 million since October 1st through mid-March. Fine has also donated $600,000 to himself last week, so about 2/3 of Fine's $987,000, Fine on his own side of his own campaign has put into the campaign just himself. Weil's campaign has spent over $8 million of its money per the filings. Fine's campaign has also spent much of its money before its donations last week. Another special election in the state's 1st district will also occur on April 1st to fill the vacancy left by former Representative Matt Gaetz when he resigned from Congress late last year. So there's actually 2 special elections in Florida that are going to be up on Tuesday, April 1st. While Republicans are favored to win both races, given that the districts were ruby red in 2024, some have speculated that the margin between the Republican and Democratic candidates could be tighter than anticipated, given Trump voter disapproval ratings and Democrat success in some recent legislative district elections, like the one I just talked to you about in Pennsylvania a few days ago. Those voicing concerns about the 6th district include Florida Governor Ron Desantis, who told reporters on Tuesday, regardless of the outcome in that, it's going to be a way underperformance from what I won the districts by in 22 as a candidate for governor and what President Trump won them by in November. They're going to try to lay that at the feet of President Trump, DeSantis said. That is not a reflection of President Trump. It's a reflection of the specific candidate running in that race. And President Trump, if he were on the ballot in this special election, he would win by 30 points, no question. So DeSantis is trying to both cover for Trump and for himself on the Republicans' underperformance and lay it on the candidate and the candidate underperforming. DeSantis did say he still expects a Republican candidate will be successful in the district. Still, DeSantis and Fine have clashed before, including when Fine switched his endorsement in the 2024 presidential primaries from DeSantis to Trump. Steve Bannon, a former Trump advisor, said on Monday in his podcast that Trump won that district by 30 points in November. We have a candidate that I don't think is winning. That's an issue. ABC News reached out to Fine's campaign for a comment about the Republican concerns. Fine on social media has continued to express optimism, saying on Tuesday that, as I sit in my state Senate office for the last time, I want to thank the voters who have elected me 7 times to represent them in Tallahassee. It's been a profound honor, and I can't wait to do that again. The National Republican Congressional Committee, the campaign arm of the House, has not invested in the race, but indicated it is not worried about a loss. Randy Fine is going to be a member of Congress. Everything else is just noise, said Mike Marinella, a spokesperson for the NRCC, told ABC News. So that's where things stand on the Florida side of things. As for the race itself, only one poll so far has been conducted, and that's been by St. Pete Polls, who's a very, I'd say, a well-known polling firm in the state of Florida. They always, whenever you look at Florida elections, they always show up in the polling averages and aggregates. And in this poll, Randy Fine is leading the Democrat Josh Well by 4 points, 48% to 44%, with a 2% other between Libertarian Andrew Perrott and Independent Randall Terry getting the other 2%, and 6% say they are undecided at this time. Now, it is worth noting the poll is only 403 voters, a smaller sample size, but then again, this is going to be a likely lower turnout election than typical, so maybe the smaller sample size isn't as much of a problem. Also, the margin of error of the poll is plus or minus 4.9%, meaning Randy Fine's 4-point lead does fall within the margin of error, essentially saying this race is a statistical tie, a statistical dead heat at this time. And I'm making such a big deal about this for a few reasons. For one, let's take a look at the Cook PVI for this district. This district right here, Florida 6th District, Michael Waltz, he won it, or the district is Republican plus 14, which is just borderline between being a likely Republican win and a safe Republican win based on the generic Cook PVI of generic Republican versus generic Democrat. This should be about a safe Republican win. And I can show this in the House elections in 2024, where Michael Waltz, we saw just win this district 67% to 33%. this race should not even be close. And yet, in the only poll that's been done so far, shows the race really could not be any closer. And if you want to look as well, right now in the U.S. House, the Republicans currently have 220 Republicans, Democrats have 215. If this seat goes down for the Republicans in the safe Republican district, maybe Republicans in 2026 win it back, but that's still about a year or so of having one extra Democrat in the House, where they go down to 219, Democrats go up to 216, and then the Republicans are going to have a extremely hard time trying to get the votes in the House. If only one or two Republicans dissent on any given bill, that would essentially stop whatever bill they were doing in the tracks. So this special election is a very big deal for Republicans, and yet right now, looking at it from what the recent special election in Pennsylvania, the recent polling data, and all the noise surrounding this race, it seems to me if one party has the momentum here, it's the Democrats and not the Republicans. The Republicans seem to be sitting back and saying that no matter what, they think they're going to win, especially at least this election, probably both of them, but they think they're going to win this election, whereas the Democrats are feeling optimistic and are going on the attack at winning a potential Republican district that is maybe their only chance of winning it, but it may be enough to build momentum for this election and for 2025 in Virginia and New Jersey, and maybe for momentum in the 2026 midterm elections. Could this just be happening in a vacuum? Yes, this could not materialize into anything, but right now, the Democrats have to like what they're seeing out of Pennsylvania and now out of this district in Florida. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Please remember to click subscribe, leave a comment below telling me your thoughts. Remember, I post a new video every single day, so you're not going to want to miss those. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in a future video.